Well, with all this hot weather recently, it's like summer will go on forever, with memories of foreign holidays still fresh in the memory. All the damp coolness of the actual summer, a distant memory. Now, take it from me, this room is hot, so apologise if you hear the fan noise. The last thing you want to see is me slowly cooking after multiple takes. So what does every perfect holiday need? Apart from great weather and great company with whom to share it with? Well, a great holiday watch, of course. Now, you could take a selection, one for every occasion and outfit, and there's nothing wrong with that. The thought of leaving some of your gems at home may be too much to bear, but for me, I tend to take one watch. One to do it all: sun, sea, sand and pull, eating out, cooking in, sun cream and bug spray resistant. A versatile piece that can take anything, not formal or too casual, classy, robust, with a pop of colour. A sports watch that will pass all the criteria, but not draw too much attention. I give you my Omega Planet Ocean 43.5mm with the blue dial. Now let's talk about how this watch coped over my recent holiday and reflect on some watch spotting that we all like to do and see what others were wearing. I was surprised by what I observed in some quite flashy and affluent areas. I'm Andy and welcome to the English Watch. Now this channel is about me and my watch collecting journey, an amateur enthusiast with an eye for detail, helping like-minded individuals like you start your watch collecting journey. Now if you like this video, why not give it a thumbs up, and while you're there, I'd really appreciate your support by subscribing. It really helps the channel grow and reach the audience it so deserves. Now before we get started, today I'm wearing a new piece to commemorate starting a new job. A job that has kept me focused, so I apologise for the drop off in material. Now I'm wearing the Grand Seiko Quartz GMT reference SNG N029. Now it's my first watch in 12 months, so more than overdue, and what better way to celebrate a milestone than to buy a watch. Now Grand Seiko is a brand I've only recently warmed to, having little prior engagement with them, and I'm going to wear the hell out of this one just for a few weeks and then do a full review. So far so good, and I'm loving the smaller size as a daily wearer. Now if you hit that subscribe button, you won't miss a future episode, including the full review. Now followers of my channel will remember that my summer vacation last year in 2022 didn't go quite to plan. Notwithstanding the stress of my eldest son losing his passport in Spain the week before we were due to fly to the States. No, the icing on the cake was when a perfectly enjoyable trip to Florida was interrupted by an unexpected heart attack. Now thankfully all ended well, with number one son getting his passport on time and me making a full recovery, having received excellent care at the Dr. Phillips Hospital in Orlando. Now it's worth watching that video as my experience has resonated well, and it's important for those of a certain age to check for the classic symptoms and go and see a doctor if concerned. Don't get caught out like I did. Now it wouldn't be a holiday without some drama, and this time number one son had to miss the first week due to some exam resits on his university course. Not part of the plan when we booked it back last year, but solved by flying out to join us in the second week. So it all went to plan, otherwise you'll be glad to hear. Now in terms of my holiday watch, the Omega Planet Ocean 43.5mm has performed this duty over the past 5 years without fault, being my default holiday watch in many destinations. Not once feeling out of place or vulnerable. Yes, you should always be aware of your surroundings, and I wouldn't take it anywhere I wouldn't take my family. However, I have tended to substitute it for my Apple Watch, or not wear it at all if there's some rough and tumble, or more ridiculously, getting wet, and otherwise known as the things it's supposed to do well. Now I know, it's not like I baby my watches, but I do try and avoid instances where potential damage can occur. But my little medical incident last year has made me think a bit more differently about my life. So this time it didn't leave my wrist at all, other than bedtime, and I don't regret a moment. If anything, it's added to those experiences that we enjoyed, helping cement the memories of a great holiday. I mean, it saw some serious pool time, although I always rinsed it off after in clean water when I got out. Now this helps prevent any effect the chemicals may have on the seals, but also means I get a clean watch to wear every day. No cheese this year. Now I was even a little careless. I dropped it accidentally on a hard tiled floor. Now I'll tell you what damage it sustained a little later, as well as the accuracy it maintained over the duration. Now this is a watch that makes most sense on a rubber strap, due to its heft on the very robustly engineered bracelet. Now I use the genuine Omega blue rubber strap and clasp, having tried a few cheaper options in the past. Now this perfectly integrated and colour matched strap was originally an option on the Good Planet GMT that shared the same case design as today's 43.5mm. Now the Good Planet is now discontinued, but the strap is still available to buy from Omega and looks better than the alligator style strap this watch comes on in my view. Less dressy and a bit more tooly. Now I'll leave the Omega part number in the description as I often get asked about it. Now there are some good aftermarket options out there, but not that integrate as well as this one does and offer the full OEM look. And that's the look that I was after. Now whilst strolling up and down the promenades of Cannes and Nice and drooling over some quite amazing cars on show outside those big hotels and admiring the other delights on offer, I glanced into a few boutiques and was able to catch firsthand the 75th anniversary Seamasters from Omega. Now I have to say I wasn't keen and have moved on my initial position. Now, I think the Aqua Terra was probably the best iteration, looking in from the shop window with the sun lighting up the dial and that baby blue rubber strap. I think the Planet Ocean and the pair of 300s just don't look right to me. Now I can't put my finger on it, and I'm a blue watch guy. Maybe it's the darker gradients or the pairing of that blue Luminova. Now out and about you can't help but see what others are wearing on the wrist, mainly on olive skinned or tanned arms, contrasting with my pale Celtic skin. Now despite the obvious shows of wealth in this part of France, most normies weren't wearing anything special, although I did see a lot of Rolex Submariners, more than I would normally see on the high street. Most were pre-ceramic with a few two-tone worn by young and old, a real testament to its popularity and iconic status. But I did note that a lot of men, mostly young men, were wearing 36mm two-tone Datejusts. I didn't see many sporting large luxury watches, keeping it chic and not too ostentatious. Certainly made me think about my style choices. Otherwise most were sporting smartwatches, either an Apple Watch or a Garmin of some description, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I did spot quite a few gems in Saint-Tropez, probably the highest value count of anywhere we went, with solid yellow gold Sky Dwellers and Daytonas featuring on the odd tanned arms of both men and ladies of a certain age. I did notice quite a few moon swatches out and about, more than I've seen in any one day or location before. I don't know why. I think there was a boutique in Cannes, but it was always closed when we went past it, so I don't know if they were available. But there's also a good selection of Casios and fashion watches, so a real mix. Now, whilst enjoying a coffee one morning in Nice, I did spot my first Omega, a Seamaster Diver 300 chronograph, on a gent's wrist as he wrapped his arm around his better half at the table in front of us. Now he looked super cool, soaking up the atmosphere with his beautiful wife or girlfriend, unlike the pasty middle-aged guy sat behind him with the big blue watch. And it's fair to say I didn't see many Omegas at all. I think that was probably the most obvious one. I'm sure they're out there, and I think I did see a Seamaster or two, but mainly Rolex and the odd Hublot. But after 2 wonderful weeks and enough rosé to sink a battleship, it was time to come home. Now we drive down to Folkestone, get the Channel Tunnel over to Calais, and then drove down to where we were staying near Nice and Cannes. Took a couple of nights stopovers, one in Folkestone, one in Macon. Now Macon was quite nice, not been there before. Now as we got further south it got really hot. We only had one of my sons in the back on the way down, so that wasn't too bad. But on the way back it was clear that this has to be the last family holiday of this style. I mean, with 2 6-foot basically men in the back of the car, it was just too much for all of us. Long gone are the days of having a couple of kids having fun in the back with teddies and DVDs. No, going forward, this type of holiday, it's just going to be me and my good lady, maybe touring Europe. We love Switzerland and we've still got a few brands to visit, so I can see us driving on those excellent roads through that beautifully manicured surroundings in an open top car with only ourselves to worry about. You can dream. Maybe we'll start by flying over to Watches and Wonders next year. That'd be nice. Now, I did say I dropped my Planet Ocean onto a tiled floor. Now, this was a freak accident, and it must have fallen a good metre, or just over 3 feet for my American viewers. My initial shock had thoughts of smashed crystals and dented lugs. You see it on Facebook all the time. Gonna polish this out. But after a quick inspection, all was in good order. Good job it wasn't ceramic. I later found a sort of rough edge on the bezel, where I think the coin edging took the brunt. Now, it's not visible, but I guess in the future, when I rub the edge like a genie, I'll be reminded of quite a wonderful family holiday. And another reason this one will stick around for some time to come. However, I have no future plans to drop test it on any other surfaces. Now on the accuracy front, I set it spot on before we left, wore it every day and placed it dialed down on each night. Over the 2 weeks it lost just 5 seconds. Now being a master chronometer, it shouldn't lose any time, but I can't complain. This is one robust and accurate piece of kit. It looks great with that stunning blue ceramic dial and matching rubber strap, and I'm sure if called upon it would make a formidable weapon against any would-be assailant, perfectly living up to its tool watch credentials. The Omega Planet Ocean is a great watch that shouldn't be overlooked. It's also great value with plenty around in the secondary and grey market. For me, a great holiday companion. Anyway, I hope you liked this episode. I'd love to know what you take on holiday with you. Just the one, or do you take them all along with you? Now, before you move on, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and please check out the links below where you'll find access to my Amazon affiliate store and Patreon, along with other links for goods and services that I personally use. But for now, I'm Andy, this has been The English Watch, take care and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.